All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Beretta 9mm USA here. And today we're going to do a comparison video. As you can see in front of you, this is the Vigil Commander from Dan Wesson against the new Springfield Ronin Operator, also in Commander size. Both of these are the lights, if you will. They're the aluminum alloy frames with the steel slides. So again, right around 30 ounces is where these things come in at. So they're very equivalent to each other as far as most options and features, and that's why I think it makes a good comparison video.
Regarding weight, actually, surprisingly, the Dan Wesson Vigil weighs an ounce more than the Ronin. So it's 29.5 on the Ronin and 30.5 on the Vigil Commander.
Again, very close. The biggest difference, of course, you guys are going to want to know about is price and street prices. Young Beretta looked them up, and current street prices right now during the pandemic, so prices are a little bit higher, is about $800 on this Springfield Ronin Operator and $1,200 to $1,249 on the Vigil. Wow. Another major difference before we start shooting here, guys, is the Vigil from Dan Wesson is mostly all forged parts, including the little parts that are on it. Everything except for the grip safety, I believe. Whereas the Springfield, being a lower price, has some more cast parts in it than the Vigil. So that's something to keep in mind if you want an all forged gun. The Dan Wesson is really the only one in town. If you want something that still works, but is a little bit less expensive, and you're okay with a few cast parts, then this is going to be the one for you right here.
Let's go ahead and talk about the rusty hammer real fast.
Okay.
Because it is very apparent right here.
Everyone knows that we've had some rust problems on the Vigils and a couple of the other Dan Wessons with spotting rust on those hammers. And we've also heard from subscribers and viewers that every once in a while they have to remove some rust off their hammers of their Dan Wessons. Nothing else. We haven't had any problems with anything else that has to do with the Dan Wessons as far as rust is concerned. But the Springfields, since we've had them for the last couple months, we haven't seen any rust on them at all.
Yep.
So wanted to get that out there and out of the way. Again, these are 45 ACP handguns, and they have ramped barrels on them. And this one is really supported, has this fully supported chamber in the Dan Wesson.
All right, go ahead and light it up so we can show that.
Let's light it up. We're about 30 yards, 31 yards away. Couple misses on that on the Dan Wesson. Empty magazine, empty gun. We're safe here, nothing going on. If you look inside there, I don't have a flashlight.
I can see it.
Okay, if you look inside there, you can see that it has a fully ramped barrel in there, and you can also see how the frame of the gun itself is kind of built around the ramped barrel. Again, this is a Dan Wesson. So I think with that extra money being spent, I really do think they did their homework on this one, putting it together.
And so it's very similar on the Springfield Armory also as far as the ramp barrel. Go ahead and shoot the Springfield now.
Okay, again from 30, 31 yards away. That's a miss. That one too. And that one. That one's a little low. So when I'm concentrating on it, it actually had a very nice group on it. Again, on this one, you can see where the frame of the handgun is built around the ramp barrel, giving it as much support as possible. Again, the reason why this is happening is because it's trying to protect the alloy frames on both pistols.
Really nice side picture on this thing. Here we go. This thing shoots really well. There we go.
The ammo is supplied by Elite Performance Ammunition from Sig Sauer. This is their 45 ACP ammo, 230 grain, traveling at 850 feet per second and 369 foot-pounds. Couple rounds straight ahead, and then I'm going to go 20 yards to the white target that's over there by the base of the mountain. Couple rounds this way. Got a really great trigger. All right, let's do the other 5 or 6 this way. Feels like old times.
What we want to talk about next, as far as a talking point here, is the recoil impulse between these two pistols. I think the recoil spring feels about the same. You can definitely feel how much smoother this pistol is overall, though, and that actually was felt when we were shooting this pistol. It did have a lighter feeling as far as to the recoil impulse of this pistol. Real quick, I'm going to show you the fitment in the back. It's very similar overall as far as the way that the frame and slide are blended together. You can see it's not as expertly well done either on the Dan Wesson. It's not like a Les Baer or Wilson Combat, okay? It's just, this is your high end on your production pistol. This is more so middle of the road, but it's actually extremely high quality. And the price point it's coming in at for what you're getting here is outstanding.
I agree with that.
The Dan Wesson and the Ronin operator here both have checkered mainspring housings. You can see that the checkering is a little bit more abrasive on the Ronin operator, coming in at 25 lines per inch, and then the Vigil is 25, just like it is on the front strap, okay? So you actually do have a checkered front strap on the Vigil here, versus the Ronin operator, because it comes in at a lower price point, just smooth front strap, just like your standard 1911.
18 yards away that way, guys. Let's go this way. We're gonna go 20, 21 yards this way. From the kneeling. Wow.
Have a 10-round Wilson Combat mag right here. One thing that we did want to talk about on the Dan Wesson here compared to the Ronin operator is that it does say that it has a match grade barrel, as you can see right there. It says match, 45 ACP, and it does have a recessed crown right here on the edge, okay? Versus this being more traditional 1911 style, just like a Les Baer 1911. What I would compare that to, as far as like if we're talking about custom 1911s, is how as an option, Alchemy Custom Weaponry offers more of a crown job like this compared to, again, Les Baer being more traditional styling. Both pistols are utilizing standard commander length GI guide rod assembly, so there's nothing to compare right there.
Let's try one-handed. We're 18 yards away to the front. Wow. You're right, young Beretta. It shoots very well.
One big thing to compare on these pistols is the triggers. This is standard style 1911 aluminum trigger right here compared to a plastic trigger, okay? You would normally see this on an STI 1911 or 2011 style pistol, but this is plastic. And let me tell you, it is fantastic. Right here, that's your take up. You hit the wall. and it breaks. Great trigger. Reset, outstanding. Feels very springy. Gets you back out there to take the next shot. As far as fitment, very little up and down movement. No side-to-side play at all. It's just an outstanding trigger.
So just on that real quick, guys, I think that's one of the biggest things that surprised young Beretta and I was the quality of the plastic trigger. And I'm not trying to sell that concept to you because I wasn't...
We were not believers.
Right. We didn't really believe in it either until we actually experienced it. So there's a few of you that are putting in the comments that you hate the plastic, blah, blah, blah. I understand that, but give it a try before you sentence it, okay? It's actually excellent.
So here's the Dan Wesson trigger. Again, more traditional, okay? That's your take up. You hit the wall. Really clean break. Reset. It's fantastic. Up and down movement. You can see that right there. A little up and down movement. A little bit more side to side play too, actually, on the Dan Wesson. Both of them fantastic overall for sure, though. You can see the frames are cut a little bit different. If you look at this right here, as far as the beaver tail, this is less bear style as far as the way that this frame is cut and use of the beaver tail. Compared to this is more like a Nighthawk or some of the Wilson Combat. So some of the different 1911s utilize different style frames for their cuts as far as use of a beaver tail and stuff like that. This bothers me a little bit more because you can see it's harder to fit a beaver tail into a frame like this because it's kind of cut into 3 pieces. It's like a T or something like that. Versus this, very, very little movement side to side. And I feel like it doesn't bother the web in my hand when I grip a frame cut this way compared to the other style, okay? That's just something to point out. You can see both these pistols are wearing aftermarket grips, standard. Both these pistols will come with wood grips. The only difference really to talk about as far as the wood grips or use, stock to stock, is look at how much thinner the grips are on the Ronin compared to the Vigil grips. That's because the Ronin stock comes with thin bushings, okay, thin profile bushings. So that means you have to use thin profile grips on this pistol versus standard grips.
And that's great information for our viewers that are possibly thinking about getting one.
Yeah, so this pistol feels better in hand. It would definitely feel better in hand for a female or a male with smaller style hands. I have pretty good sized hands and it doesn't bother me at all that they're smaller as far as an overall circumference in the hand, but it's just something to point out. And so if you do have smaller hands, you might like the Springfield Armory Ronin a little bit more. They offer both of these pistols in different variants as far as full size or 9mm in both versions, okay, commander or full size. That's something to keep in mind too.
And again, as I said earlier when we were shooting and stuff, there's a big difference, about a 30% difference in perceived recoil for me from a 9mm to a 45 ACP in the 1911 platform. So if you're recoil sensitive at all, or a relatively new shooter, i.e. less than 5 years of experience, I would say start with the 9mm and then move up to the 45 if you decide to do so later. The 9mm is great to shoot too.
Yep.
My glasses are fogging up. All right, let's go two-handed. Fire. And that's it, guys. The Dan Wesson Vigil. Still a fantastic shooter for me. Still one of my favorites. It did very, very well against the Springfield Ronin operator, but to say the Springfield Ronin operator was even in this class says a lot about the Springfield too. So if you have a Dan Wesson Vigil, and I know a few of you do, keep a hold of them, guys. They're still excellent.
All right, guys, in closing, this is my final thoughts. Both of these pistols have been excellent. I know a lot of you have bought this pistol because I fell in love with this one first. I still love this Dan Wesson Vigil. This is a tremendous newcomer right here. So if you're looking to keep it under $1,000, as far under $1,000 as you can, this pistol cannot be ignored. You can buy this pistol 10 Wilson Combat mags and ammunition to get up to the price of this handgun right here.
And extended Wilson Combat mag release too, which is what I'm doing to every single Ronin I have. I'm changing it over just because I don't like the standard profile magazine release on a 1911. I like it to be extended, which is what you do get actually on the Dan Wesson Vigils. You do get an extended magazine release. That's something to point out.
So this is excellent, still highly recommended. This is something that everybody on a budget or wants to spend less than $1,000 has to look at. And we've shot a couple of them now at the range, and this is the third one that has been excellent and flawless.
Yeah, I don't expect anything different on the full-size 9 that we have to test here. Now, something to point out, one reason why you guys might want to buy this just in general is because of how classically this 1911 looks. That two-tone is just pure sexiness. It is amazing, and it looks fantastic. I can't get enough two-tone 1911s. You'll see another Les Bear that I just bought. It was very expensive, and I can't handle it. I can't.
Also, the grips on both of these are all LOK grips, guys. Just like we've been testing on 10 other 1911s. We have not broken a set of LOK grips yet. They all seem to work fantastic. Obviously, this has a style all to itself, and I know a lot of you will probably like the style of this. As far as grippiness and biting into your hand, you know, this is a more slippery surface, but I find myself when I grab it, because it has a small circumference around it, I'm locked into this thing like unbelievably so. Like it's a baseball bat and I'm playing for the Dodgers, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations to the Dodgers, by the way, on winning the World Series. But both of these handguns are terrific choices, guys. What budget are you in? If you're in this budget, don't feel bad. It's a great handgun. If you want to spend the extra money, you want the forged parts, you want the Dan Wesson name, and if you can find the Dan Wesson in stock somewhere or special order it, then here's your option right here.
That's a big thing actually right now because of COVID. The Dan Wesson factory has been shut down in New York, so actually as of right now, your only option might be the Springfield Armory Ronin between these two as far as what you might be able to find.
But we were at Key Sporting Goods last week, and they got a shipment of Dan Wessons in.
That's true.
I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 of them. So maybe they're starting to come out right now. Key Sporting Goods is the largest gun dealer in the state of Oregon, guys, and he gets the most guns from wherever. So he finally got a shipment of Dan Wessons in. I saw it in at the store when I was there last. So maybe they're starting to come out. But if not, on either one of these guns, guys, and I say this many times, if you can't find it, special order it. Put your $200 or $300 down and special order it and wait for it to come in.
Yeah.
All right, I think that finishes up this video, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, and support us on Patreon, if you will, for more guns and gear videos coming up in the future. And remember, guys, your Second Amendment is worth protecting.